if Nemo was lore accurate, Nemo would have never existed. Marlin would have just ate Nemo. Like.
And its job is to deliver baby batter directly to the female. And some species it attaches for the female to swim off with like a Costco cord.
They got a nut scooper. All right, time for another video. What's good, YouTube? We are here with some more Casual Geographic, which is ruining Finding Nemo with science because I can. I have no idea what they mean by this, but the thumbnail was disturbing and creepy, so I'm assuming there's some jacked up stuff about clownfish that we're about to learn about, or maybe some of Marlin's other friends. That was his name, right? Marlin? I think it was Marlin. It's been a long time, but yeah, we about to see what's popping.
Remember that time Disney made a kids movie where a man's wife and children get violently ripped off the census and his only remaining son is left physically disabled?
I will say the beginning of Finding Nemo always disturbed me as a child.
Travel hundreds of miles across predator.
Just the fact of like what happened to his wife and his baby.
Handicapped woman. Yeah, Finding Nemo is crazy. I'm gonna destroy your favorite movie with science, and here's a challenge. Take a shot.
You know what? That's a good point, Livy. Hi, YouTube. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe because y'all been killing these freaking these Casual Geographic videos. I appreciate the love, but that just means a lot of y'all ain't subscribed. So if you've been coming around to these videos and you messing with what I got, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, maybe even comment. Did you like Nemo? I don't know. Comment something. That way you can help my videos do better. I appreciate any support. But yeah, let's get started.
Or a hit, because you know, 420. Every time a main character should have become a chalk outline. Your grandkids will be in AA.
Comment nip stickers. Okay.
Barracuda clapping virtually Nemo's entire.
You know, if you want to comment nip stickers, go ahead.
Don't eat clownfish or their eggs, but you know who do? Clownfish themselves. Clownfish have been known to spawn, kill, and eat their own eggs.
They eat their own eggs.
His mother would have been infinitely more of a threat to him than any barracuda could have.
Marlin was eating his baby.
If you ask the clownfish how they like their eggs, they'd probably say unfertilized, because those and damaged ones are the ones they'd usually eat, i.e. the ones that wouldn't make it anyway. But that goes against my narrative.
Oh, so
the other elephant to address is how clownfish.
It said that in the little text if you didn't catch it, but it just said like it's usually the damaged ones that the damaged ones that the clownfish will eat. So if this was if Nemo was lore accurate, Nemo would have never existed. Marlin would have just ate Nemo. Like you ain't getting that little, you ain't about to be birthed with that little baby fin. You just finna die. You finna just get eaten.
Breed. Clownfish are sequential hermaphrodites, where every clownfish is born a male, and the biggest, most him male will transition into a female when the opportunity arises. Such an opportunity would give a hypothetical barracuda took the alpha female on a dinner date with Batman's parents. That would get filled by the biggest male clownfish in the area, and his spot would get filled by the second biggest male, and the two would proceed to mate with each other. And since the only clownfish we see in the entire movie are father and son, I'll let you fill in those dots. Clownfish aren't the only fish that switch teams.
I honestly didn't know that.
Does the same, but in reverse. They go from female to male. Although with a face for radio,
that is a creepy looking face. That's probably the creepiest fish I've ever seen.
Marlin having the worst form of family therapy wasn't bad enough. There's a good chance Nemo wasn't ever even alive. What if I told you Nemo means no one in Latin? Which means the movie title makes the theory that Marlin married Itachi suddenly gained legs. He also could have been named after Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues
Under the Sea. A lot of ocean
sea.
Creatures can switch up.
But that goes against my narrative, so I'm gonna
I didn't even.
It's easy for facts to get lost in favor
I had no
of a better
clue.
story, and if you don't know where to look, you'd have no way of knowing. Like you may have heard that the administration started putting tariffs on penguins. Now, personally, I think it's been time those business chickens ponied up. They've had it too good for too long. But I gotta pretend to be partial. Tensor progeny, and his father's going Marlin to Marlene as soon as he gets off screen. Alright, so Nemo is going to school, and when we get there, we meet these guys. And I remember as a kid, I was not sure what Pearl was. Well, she's a young flapjack octopus.
I mean, I thought it was obvious they were an octopus.
If this were real life, she'd be a lot less cute.
You made me ink.
Can be found in depths.
Oh my god, that's just a blob.
Meters, or 100 meters short of a mile, or about 3.5 Empire State Buildings. And since his pink propeller hat can withstand crushing pressure, if she existed,
wait, what? What did they say?
They're remarkably adorable in real life. Problem is, if this were real life, she'd be a lot less cute. The flapjack can be found in depths as far down as 1,500 meters, or 100 meters.
Oh, how far down you find
about
them?
3.5
Okay.
Empire State Buildings. And since this pink propeller hat can withstand crushing pressure, if she existed where Nemo could see her, she would be turned into disfigured mush. Think about how getting pulled out of their habitat turns a normal-looking blobfish into a deflated, misshapen whale fetus. That's
Ew.
And Pearl being where the sun shines would reduce her to flamingo vomit. Also, at one point, Pearl says this about her arm.
It's actually shorter than all my other tentacles.
Well, octopus usually have one shorter arm called the hectocotylus, and its job is to deliver baby batter directly to the female. In some species, it attaches for the female to swim off with like a Costco cord.
They got a nut scooper?
The arm might have a mind of its own, since it can swim to the female, and it's believed
They got
it
a
can
nut
sense
scooper
danger.
tentacle.
So two things: Pearl's not a girl, and that is an indecency charge. And that's not the last time we go down that road either. Now we're
That's actually crazy.
Flapjacks don't actually have a hectocotylus because that goes against my name. So after Nemo sees his first pink slip, we then meet Mr. Ray. Not to be confused with the op of the Irwins, because Steve wouldn't even want that. But also because Mr. Ray is a manta ray, non-venomous and completely harmless. Now I don't know if they did this on purpose, but they chose arguably the smartest fish in the ocean to be their teacher. Manta rays are considered the most intelligent, with the largest brain to body ratio of any fish. The overachieving aquatic placemat is apparently capable of problem solving and advanced communication. They're also self-aware, with more than one occasion of a manta ray checking itself out in a mirror, and they were even caught waving and blowing bubbles at their own reflection. And just for reference, that's not how they'd react to another manta. Some mantas have even been on record asking divers for help removing hooks, so yeah, makes sense this one would have a
That's
teacher.
actually pretty cool.
Anyway, Mr. Ray gives the kids a marine magic carpet ride through the reef. Stop, right there. As a kid, it used to drive me crazy that I didn't know what that was. Years later, I have the answer. Spanish dancer. This specific pancake is a nudibranch, aka a type of giant sea slug, and a species known as a Spanish dancer, named after the flowing frills of a
This is like something SpongeBob would be watching on the.
SpongeBob got caught.
Yup. I was just about to say that shit.
They'll actually steal their toxins for their
Like,
own
hold
use.
on.
It's essentially cultural appropriation with poison. They also play for both sides, but unlike clownfish, they're born with both equipment. Now for how they use it, well, sometimes two slugs will donate nativity nectar to each other and head on their way. Some sea slugs have two
Ew.
penile appendages, one for delivering baby batter, and the other to stab their partner through the head to release a substance believed to brainwash the receiver into accepting their love juice while internally rejecting that of a rival. How do Spanish dancers do it?
What?
I don't know. I honestly stopped looking because I
No
couldn't
consent.
read dramatic insemination so many times. Also in the movie, that specific dancer has a name. Canonically, it's Maria. Or I guess
Maria.
Mario. I guess both. So anyway, you know how the story goes. Eventually they get to the drop-off, the kids start doing the type of shit that got Harambe packed, and Nemo decides he really wants to live up to his name and gets himself kidnapped. His father tries to save him, but gets flashbanged by a camera. And yeah, that's accurate. A camera flash might not kill a fish, but it's severely disorienting and like a forced factory reset. That's why they say no flash photos in an aquarium. One
Yeah,
time
they
a
just
tuna
start
mistook a
tweaking.
flash for a fish and proceeded to one-shot itself into the glass in front of several children. So I take it back. I guess it could have murked Marlin if it made him split his skull on a piece of coral. A little while after that, we get to Dory. She's a regal blue tang and a species of surgeonfish that gained a lot of clout from the movie. She's also venomous with a caudal spine that extends whenever the fish is stressed, meaning Dory has a built-in prison shiv. Not only can it cause severe pain and deep cuts, you're also liable to catch a nasty bacterial infection. That's why they're called surgeonfish, because they will cut you. Dory would also conceal carry a toxin called ciguatera, and poisoning can lead to migraines, trouble breathing, and hallucinations. So yeah, the beloved Disney character can be a real headache to deal with in real life, although to be fair, I've heard the same.
Yeah, don't
side
mess
about
with them
the voice actor.
bluefins.
Not long after that, we meet Bruce, and considering he expeditiously
Bruce.
kidnaps and essentially escorts them to an underwater
I'm
white
assuming we're
van,
gonna talk about
he might
Crush
just be a predator
soon.
in every sense.
Crush the
But when we
homie.
see all three sharks, they swear by vegetarianism. We also see this guy. Remember him, he's gonna be important. Now there actually are vegetarian sharks. More than half of the bonnethead shark's diet is seagrass. And turns out whale sharks eat a massive amount of green. But considering we're talking about a great white, a hammerhead, and a mako, the only thing saving a clownfish and a blue tang is they're technically too small to even be worth the effort. Also, when Jaws cries about never knowing his father, it's because many sharks exhibit multiple paternity, where one litter can have several fathers. Shark Mommy's womb is like a baby batter bouillabaisse, where paternity is like a lottery system. That was really gross. I'ma tone it down. But yeah, Bruce has no way of knowing who his father is. But it could be worse. Baby sand tiger
Ew.
sharks will cannibalize their siblings while in utero. And we know that because one time a scientist tried to slide his hand inside a pregnant shark's nookie and almost got his finger bit off.
I beg your pardon?
Okay,
Imagine
so
sticking your hand in a shark,
ignoring
and then getting your shit bit off.
Their eyes out and push their organs out of their mouths. They nearly get sent
It's
to
for science, it's for science. What the hell is that?
Anglerfish. Now, fun fact, if you watch the credits, that
But yeah,
anglerfish lives a worophilic wet
that science
and
is
gets
nasty.
swallowed by the little anxiety guppy from earlier. Funny thing is, it'd be the other way around. Anglerfish can distend their jaws and stomach and swallow prey physically bigger than they are. They
look so fucking ugly, bruh. Like, they're ugly in a creepy way.
Sent him to the hospital. Should have sent him to solitary confinement. That is a hell of a hear me out. The kind that should forfeit your right to human contact. It's not long after that we meet a lot of 90s kids' first introduction to rage bait. If these moonfish were humans in 2025, they'd be kick streamers. In real life, fish will use this shoaling strategy to intimidate predators using the hive mind method. On a large scale, it's pretty cool. It makes sharks swimming through them look like an Etch-a-Sketch. But when predators like tuna gang up on them, it turns the bait ball into a slaughter. Also, just a callback, the reflection of the sunlight off the prey's scales is exactly why a camera flash can make a tuna crash. Out, that is. Now let's talk about Nemo, because Buddy would have really become a no one before he ever saw his dad. Let me tell you about osmosis. So
Osmosis
diffusion just means
Jones.
molecules will move from one area of high concentration to low concentration, and osmosis is that, but for water. Stay with me now. As a saltwater fish, Nemo would normally have a higher concentration of water inside him than outside, so high to low, water would leave him like his mother left the mortal plane. To avoid meeting her, Nemo would have to take in water while his kidneys work to pump the salt out. But put him in fresh water and the opposite happens. Now the concentration of water would be higher outside Nemo than inside, so high to low, Nemo would get internally waterboarded.
Damn.
So Nemo being flushed in a freshwater sewage plant means he would not make the sequel, as his cells would swell and rupture.
He would
he'd
just
get packed
die.
up by water poisoning. Also, fun fact, one line in this movie led to the deaths of thousands. You want to guess what it was?
All drains lead to the ocean, kid.
Just like that, Disney sent countless amounts of pet fish to the gulag at the hands of dumbass little kids. And if I had
You know,
fish
that's
at
a
the
good
time,
point.
I would have been one of them. It also inspired children to set their goldfish free in the wild. Giant Goliath.
You know how many
goldfish
kids
is why
probably
they
did that
do
shit?
that. It's a bug-eyed invasive that's basically a nuke to the natural habitat. Now, I'm not blaming the movie for this, but their hands aren't clean. The irony is, a movie about letting fish be turned a
That's
lot of
definitely
wild
on
fish into
Disney.
pets and a lot of pet fish into the wild. Anyway, back to the father. Eventually,
God.
they both get taken by a whale. And oh boy, there is a lot to unpack here. Stay with me now. That was a blue whale. Not only are they the biggest things alive ever, it takes so much energy for them to open their mouths. They only do it when they're guaranteed enough krill calories. Not only that, blue whales taking so much water in the process. We're talking 10,000 gallons or like 200 bathtubs. The effort it takes to carry all that means the blue whale can barely move. So yeah, Bluey would have
That
been
motherfucker
physically
is
incapable of
packed.
carrying them to Sydney. But even if they could, Nemo still would have come out of it an orphan. When blue whales hold all that water, they squeeze that water out with their tongue, and anything not water gets trapped in their baleen. It's how they filter feed, which means our fish friends would have been crushed to death
Not the
by
booty
an
lick.
8,000-pound tongue. That's the weight of an elephant. Also, it would have been physically impossible for the whale to shoot them off at Sydney, since the blue whale's mouth does not connect to its blowhole. Also, whales don't shoot water out of their blowholes. It's really just warm whale lung air meeting cool outside sea air with some mucus, and it smells like a tire factory married the final boss of tonsil stones.
Oh,
So
God.
if smell kills, they would have got a guest pass.
That
to
shit
fish
is
hell.
probably
But ignoring all
stank.
that, eventually they trade one live Uber for another when a friendly pelican saves them from a flock of hungry seagulls. Seagulls are a feathery antichrist
I was
and
like, what the
spawn of
hell?
Satan. And they should be
Yeah, the
afraid of
inside of their
pelicans,
mouth looks
since pelicans are
disgusting. Oh my
documented
God.
literally swallowing birds alive. In fact, one of the most traumatizing documentaries I watched was where Cape gannets were nesting on Malgus Island by the thousands, but because of overfishing, great white pelicans
The
started
sky
pulling up to
rats.
the nursery. What followed was a bunch of today pterosaurs strolling across the island like a grocery aisle and swallowing any unsupervised chicks alive. Like, you could hear the chicks as they were sliding down their throats, only for the pelicans to fly home just to regurgitate the recently devoured baby birds for their own pelican chicks to eat.
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
Nigel might be the real villain here.
That's-
Now, that didn't
that's
really have to
actually
do with the
insane.
plot, but I just sat here and overanalyzed a kids movie from 2003 because I have nothing better to do. And if this video gets 150,000 likes, I'll do it to another one. You can probably guess which one. Further
Oh,
along,
Lion
but I
King.
do have
My thought went immediately to Brother Bear
But
because
as
I'm
always, in
freaking
this
Brother Bear
economy,
pilled.
Don't spend a check on a creator that, let's be honest,
I
really
need
doesn't
Brother
only
Bear
for
love in
content.
2025.
Also, I have a book. You should read it. Link also in description. But that's gonna do
That
it.
actually seems like an
Water,
interesting
like your
book.
mother, don't dump goldfish. That's for real a problem. My
Just
condolences
reading about
to your
animals that can
childhood.
just
I will
freaking
be
murk
doing
you.
it again. But until then, I'ma see y'all in the next one.
All right.